NFL players wear the craziest cleats in history.
Is there designer cleats?
Maybe Louis Vuitton?
Like, some of the craziest cleats of all time include a pair that was made with fire. There's plenty of crazy cleats players got in 2025, like cleats that got turned into a car a player could drive. Players also wore many different cleats, between $1 cleats up to $250,000 cleats, and some cleats were so controversial, they were banned. The NFL's most insane cleats start with a player's cleats he got for his nickname, that he could also eat. Gardner, Sauce, or at least that's what his chains say, clad with beat-ups because he wanted to promote their food, secretly put in hours working there, and because he loved their sauces, they helped him design his own sauce.
Some athletes just get a sneaker. I get a sauce. Perfect.
But what does that have to do with cleats? Well, that sauce wasn't only for the meat he was putting in his mouth, it also went on his feet.
Got the honor to be working with Sauce Gardner. We're gonna be painting with some flavor. We're gonna actually use some of sauce in the paint.
He's hard though.
What's actually dope about it is this is one of the first pairs painted with actual sauce in the paint.
Sauce's cleats were customized in black with sauce dripping all over them, and each shoe featured one of Sauce's diamond chains hanging from the laces that were even made with the real sauce. Damn, now that's some heat on his feet. But the rest of the cleats in this video get even more ridiculous. Like, there's an NFL player who was so bro, he made cleats out of literal duct tape. There's even cleats a player wore that came from a video game. But before I tell you about those, let me show you the scariest cleats in NFL history. A lot of NFL players clearly have a weird obsession with horror movies. Starting with Gabe Davis, he wanted to show tributes to some scary white boys. This creepy clown looking ass main character from the movie Terrifier is something that keeps people up at night. So Gabe got dude painted on his cleats. He was also inspired by the movie series Halloween because of its iconic killer Michael Myers, so we got cleats customized for him too. Now, Adam Thielen did a little bit more for his scary movie fetish. This is Pennywise.
I actually do cuss a little.
Do you?
Also, yeah.
What's your favorite curse word?
Probably fuck.
Yeah, that shit scared me, so I just had to traumatize you with it. Anyways, dude's one of the ugliest killers ever from the movie It, and not only did Adam literally show up to a game dressed as him, he clowned his own cleats by getting Pennywise on him. Then, he dressed as another character too, the Ghostface motherfucker from Scream, and also from the Scary Movie series. What's up? And then turned his cleats into some perp with dude's face on them. Now, okay, I definitely respect what JJ Watt turned his cleats into though, cause I grew up watching the same movies. Freddy Krueger.
This is God.
Jason Voorhees. These guys were so known for their movie scenes that they eventually got put into the same movie and battled each other. So JJ represented their rivalry on a set of cleats with both of their faces. The colors on those are crazy. Something even crazier though is this guy.
You want to play a game?
That's not a face you ever want to wake up to. Jigsaw from the Saw movies is known to torture all of his victims with crazy games, which kinda reminds me of what Stefon Diggs does every week to his victims. No wonder why he got cleats of doom. The absolute craziest Halloween-themed cleats a player wore though had to be Isaiah Rodgers.
Who?
Cause his weren't only designed to be wrapped up like a mummy, they had an actual face underneath with eyes that glow. But not all players' cleats are crazy in a scary way. Like, it shouldn't even be allowed to wear these next ugly things on a football field. What Drew Brees wore on his feet proved he was the NFL's biggest hype beast.
Is there designer cleats? Is that Louis Vuitton?
Maybe Louis Vuitton, yeah.
Just taking a look at this dude, you'd probably expect him to wear cleats that look like something a dad would cut grass in, and most times he does. But one day, Brees wanted to randomly surprise everyone at training camp by wearing cleats a lot of people dreamed about having. Cause at the time, everybody was hyped up about a collab that was taking over the world when popular designer brands Louis Vuitton and Supreme teamed up to create a red and white colorway of every single thing people could own. There were even hypebeasts wrapping their cars in the brand, designing entire rooms with it, and even turning their mansions Supreme themed. So when special cleats were designed for football with the bottoms completely covered in gold, god damn, these custom cleats were some of the craziest I and Brees ever saw. So when he put that shit on, cameras and his teammates couldn't stop looking at him.
Saints training camp, day 3, quarterback competition, number
Hold on.
3.
Before we start, can we get a close-up on my man's cleats right now?
Look at the detail. Oh, look at the detail. Hey, don't get the shoe. Don't get the shoe. Don't get the shoes, man. Can't get the shoes, man.
Now, I'm not even gonna lie, that was the first time I thought Drew Brees was cool. But Aaron Rodgers' cleats weren't just crazy. They came from people being burned alive.
I apologize. This is really difficult to cover.
Rogers was heartbroken when he heard about a tragedy near his hometown in California.
Jeff, this fire is burning out of control 24 hours after it started. People have died. Firefighters have been hurt. We just heard what sounded like an explosion in the distance, and a police officer told us it was propane tanks. That's another explosion.
Rogers watched as a power line malfunction sparked a flame that lit up everything around. The fire ended up spreading over 150,000 acres of land, so people were literally driving through fire while seeing their town burn to the ground.
Heavenly Father, please help us to be safe.
So not only did this cost over $16 billion in damages, it became the most destructive fire in the state's history by killing over 85 people. Rogers knew he had to do something to honor his home, especially the people that were lost. And that's when he hit up a famous designer to create some crazy cleats that would have the entire world aware of the tragedy. Now, I didn't even think a design like this was possible, but the cleats were literally created using flames. They were also designed as an outdoor camping vibe, with shoutouts to the location of the fire like Paradise Strong, as well as Cal Fire, so Rogers was lit when he got these.
Ooh, man. So we wanted to do something unique and authentic to you and the story.
Wow, you did a great job, man.
Thanks, man.
Incredible.
And of course, after he got him, he wore him to his next game.
Aaron Rodgers making a big show of support for victims of the campfire tonight.
That's right. Rodgers wore custom-made cleats, check them out, reading Butte Strong and Paradise Strong during the Packers game against Washington.
Damn, you gotta respect Rodgers for dedicating cleats to something bigger than himself. But Justin Jefferson's cleats weren't something to be sad about. Because not only were they crazy, they came straight out of a video game. He's always been busting people's asses in Madden.
No! No, chat! He thought he was sweet, chat! Come on! Let me see those W's in the chat!
And lucky for him, he's become such a football star in the real world, it almost made his character unstoppable in the virtual world. His main motivation to keep getting better was to up his Madden rating to a legendary 99 overall so that he'd be awarded with some special gifts. And as Madden 24 was about to drop, he predicted what his rating would be.
I think my Madden 24 overall rating should be a 99.
And right after that, Madden made things official by granting Justin's wishes. He not only became the highest rated receiver in the game at that 99 overall, he became the highest rated receiver in Vikings history, passing their ex-most legendary player Randy Moss, who had a 98 overall. This was a huge honor, so Justin even tweeted, "Y'all have no idea what it means to be a 99 in Madden. Since I was 7 years old, I've been creating my own player making him 99, now I don't have to." So now that Justin officially became an exclusive member of the 99 Club, Madden damn near turned into COD by sending him an exclusive care package with some goodies. A custom PS5, custom controller, a gold-plated trading card, and the best part, some custom cleats. All gold with his initials, the 99 overall stamp, and to top it off, some crystal-looking diamonds. These cleats had it all. So since Justin's already known for wearing diamonds in his mouth and around his neck on the field, of course he wore them to while out at practice.
You already know what I got on my feet. The 99s.
And then, he wore them during the first game of the year where he went God mode. But players don't always get cleats over something as innocent as a Madden obsession. Cause Stefon Diggs copped his cleats over a drug addiction. Stefon's addiction started right after making the NFL when he realized he couldn't go a single day without caffeine, especially from Starbucks.
Really, coffee like dope to these folks. Every day, same trays, in and out, and I be the one serving.
And I don't blame him. Everything on their menu's good as Stefon's love for their drinks is well known because he's gone viral for tweeting that his love for Starbucks is a forever thing. Then they tweeted back saying the love is equal forever and ever. He's posted pics of him at their headquarters where he captioned it as home. Even his jeweler admitted his love for Starbucks by revealing Stefon's new purchase of a diamond Starbucks chain that cost around 5 Starbucks drinks or $15,000. For Stefon, some days it's their coffee and other days it's
tea. You should actually pick up a mango black. I drink tea every day. I have to. It's my coffee.
His obsession with Starbucks even followed him into game days with some custom cleats. And these were just his first cleats that not only had Starbucks logos all over them, everything about them was the brand's colors, and they were designed to look like a cup of coffee ordered from their place. He also got a second pair made. This time a Reddit out version, which is better in my opinion, that he even wore during a game against the Seahawks in Seattle, ironically the city that the first ever Starbucks opened. Man's really proved he's a fiend for caffeine, even when he's on the green. But alright, even some of the craziest cleats in history don't compare to some of the absolute craziest cleats that players wore during the 2025 season. I mean, there's cleats players drank out of, cleats inspired by a deadly animal, and there's also other crazy cleats like a pair that got turned into Hot Wheels, or the cleats that were turned into an actual car. But before we get to those, Justin Jefferson's cleats came from a video game. Madden isn't just something he's always playing. The game made Jefferson one of only a few players with a 99 rating this season, so that didn't just get him rewarded with this 99 diamond chain. Under Armour customized him some cleats inspired by Louis Vuitton's iconic pattern, which not only have fighter jets for his nickname, symbols to honor his home state of Louisiana, and his signature on the side. The bottom says 99 and the entire cleat is covered in gold, so I could see why he only wore these during warm-ups. He didn't even want to try risking ruining his craziest cleats. But the rest of the cleats in this video get even crazier. Like SpongeBob cleats that light up, cleats that got turned into something a player could drive, and so much more. But before we see those, another player's cleats this season were inspired by a movie character. No, not Godzilla that Myles Garrett got painted onto his craziest cleats. I'm talking about this ugly-ass Grinch who's covered in green hair.
Hello.
Because Mercedes Lewis didn't just honor the character by wearing these hairy cleats a few years ago. This season, he got even crazier Grinch cleats that were all green with peppermint-colored laces. Then one cleat had a buff version of him wearing a jersey with a football, while the other had the Grinch laying down in a fuzzy Santa suit with his cheeks in the air. I could see him wearing those. I never thought I'd see another player this season use his cleats to drink out of. Ugh. Cam Scatabo just wanted to celebrate an accomplishment, but not on the football field. Because after Cam got injured, this man started streaming on Twitch where he eventually got close to his goal of 1,000 subscribers.
Chad, they said I had to play like classic hardcore or something.
And once he finally hit it, Cam celebrated by pouring an energy drink into one of his Nike cleats that was red, white, and blue. Then once it was all in the cleat, I'm just hoping that wasn't game one. But another player got 4 of the craziest pairs of cleats all season, starting with some that I thought only little kids would wear. Isaiah Rodgers' first pair came from a tradition that parents do with their kids around Christmas, known as Elf on the Shelf. That's why he came out for his game around Christmas in cleats that look softer than a stuffed animal, and even played catch with fans in them. He had one girl elf on his left and one boy elf on his right, which looked so beyond ridiculous on his feet that the cleats were obviously only allowed for warm-ups. But his second pair of crazy cleats weren't just from SpongeBob. They could literally glow in the dark. Because when his team was playing exclusively on Netflix and he knew everyone was tuned in, Isaiah pulled up in cleats designed like a frozen bikini bottom with Patrick, Gary, SpongeBob, and the Netflix symbol all wearing Santa hats. And if that wasn't wild enough, the cleats were also wrapped in Christmas lights that could glow like a tree. But his third and even crazier pair that kids would wear were also inspired by something kids watch. Because just like the main characters Mike Wazowski and Sully from Monsters Inc.,
Hey, get up, Sully!
Isaiah didn't just get one of his cleats transformed into some fuzzy green material with one huge eye like Mike, then the other was covered in plenty of purple and blue hair for Sully. He also wore those before a game, then even gifted them to a younger fan after. Gotta respect him for that. But Isaiah's fourth and craziest pair this season are something you're just not ready for yet. We'll get to them in a bit, because they're some of the most unreal cleats you'll ever see. But we can't get to those without first seeing another player's even crazier cleats that matched his teeth. See, this crazy diamond grill belongs to Tez Johnson. And since he wanted to match his teeth with his feet, he got his designer to put crystals all over these Jordan 1 Low cleats. The cleats obviously look crazy as hell and even had fans saying they matched his teeth. So I could see why he flexed them before a game, because a pair like that easily cost him thousands of dollars. But the cleats another player wore this season were apparently so crazy that the NFL banned them. Maxx Crosby just wanted to innocently honor his daughter when he got some pink Jordan 11 cleats that had her name with flowers on them. And even though he was seen wearing these Barbie-looking cleats for warm-ups, then even had them on while going off during a game, out of nowhere, Maxx changed. It turned out that since the NFL had strict rules about cleats needing to match his team's colors, and since the cleats weren't white, black, or silver, Maxx revealed that he was forced to take off his cleats, or he would have been kicked out the game, or even worse.
As you guys can see, I'm making a stand. I'm wearing the pink because NFL was crying and forced me to take my shoes off, even though they're Jordan 11 custom Ella Rose is one of ones, but I definitely wanted one of my daughter and represent my daughter out there, and it says Ella on the front of them. They're freaking cold. So I was like, I'm wearing them. You know what I mean? Regardless of what they say, I'll take the fine. I don't care.
Man, The NFL still banning cleats in 2026 is corny, but another player's cleats were cheesy? Yeah, Josh Jacobs got cleats that he could eat. Well, kinda. See, Jacob knew that the entire state of Wisconsin is known for cheese, which is why Packers fans are always wearing cheesehead hats, and that's also why this season opponents were taunting Packer fans by wearing cheese graters. But regardless, this season, Josh got green laces and a green swoosh on his Nike cleats that were designed to look like some cheese. Now, those are not your average looking cleats. That's why when he wore these during a game, they even helped him score a touchdown. But food cleats are one thing. CeeDee Lamb's craziest cleats this year honored one of the NFL's cleat kings. Odell Beckham was known to wear some of the craziest cleats of all time. I mean, from camo babe cleats, cleats that light up, and even Dora the Explorer cleats, all the way to a $50,000 rainbow chrome hearts pair, or even the most expensive cleats in NFL history that are covered in diamonds and worth $250,000. But since some of Odell's most famous pairs were the ones that literally said his OBJ initials on them, CeeDee took inspiration from those to get some in all white, then half his name was on each cleat in metallic blue that looked like some damn lightning or something. Now, they even had his number on them in that same dope color, and CeeDee wore them against Odell's former team, where one good catch that showed the cleats had everyone talking about him. But another player's even crazier cleats actually turned him into a superhero. Since the Silver Surfer's chrome suit is known to shine like crazy in Marvel movies, this season, Colts Kenny Moore didn't just have these normal looking Adidas cleats completely stripped down. They got customized into an all chrome prismatic type of color to match the Surfer, then even had hand sewn flames on them to really give dude heat on his feet. These damn things shine like crazy, and once he wore them during a game, it had Instagram pages everywhere calling them Silver Surfers. But it's not only the players who wear crazy things on their feet, because what an NFL team owner wore got them clowned by thousands of fans. At first, everyone was just tuning in to see what cleats players were gonna wear for the NFL's annual My Cause My Cleat campaign. And let me say, there were plenty of dope cleats that came out, like George Kittle's signed military themed pair, Matt Stafford's Halloween cleats, these gold ones Patrick Mahomes wore, and even this player's McDonald's cleats with the iconic golden arches. Regardless, none of the players with their cleats got trashed on the internet like the Colts owner, because for some reason, she was seen wearing custom shoes to try joining in on the campaign. I mean, they were crazy looking, these multicolored Balenciagas with laces that were way too long, but in my opinion, those things are hideous. And plenty of fans agreed, because not only did they say the Balenciagas were so ass and that those shoes are in fact not it, thousands upon thousands of people in the comments even clowned her, saying she looked like Edward Scissorhands and how they know a cokehead when they see one. God damn, man. And knowing what Balenciaga costs, them shoes cost thousands of dollars and were an absolute waste of cash. But cleats that two other stars wore on their feet came from something most people wear on their ass. Now, these cleats aren't ass though, trust me, because the first were worn by Jalen Hurts in this year's Pro Bowl practice. Man was rocking new Jordan 3s that were made with the same material as Levi's jeans and got turned into cleats. But if him debuting cleats made out of stuff people wear on their cheeks wasn't crazy enough, Puka Nacua skirted in wearing a different style of the Jordan Levi collab cleats that are even more fire. And clearly Puka loved them too, because he kept them on while cheesing in every pick he took. Man, Pro Bowl had players wildin' in their cleats. Kinda like what Micah Parsons wore that came from hell. Hell Star. Micah posted cleats nobody had ever seen before, and he knew exactly what emojis to use. Fire. Because there were flames all over him, but he didn't just show the Adidas Hellstars off once. Mans literally wore them when he stole someone's wheelchair and was riding around the field, even filming baddie cheerleaders. Dude's a fool for that. But what if I told you another player's cleats this season were inspired by a deadly animal? These tiny colorful frogs might seem innocent and cute at first, but poison dart frogs are actually one of the most deadly animals on earth because they each have enough toxin to kill 20 fully grown humans. And years after the animal's deadly warning colors were used as an inspiration behind the colorway for NBA legend Kobe Bryant's signature shoe, this season in the NFL, Bucky Irving didn't just get his own pair of custom red and blue Kobe poison frogs that were turned into cleats. He wore them during a game for the whole world to see, all to honor Kobe and one of his most underrated hooping shoes of all time. But speaking of basketball, Jalen Ramsey's craziest cleats this season made him actually look like an NBA superstar. Because after this foul baiter, great player Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led his team to a championship, he not only created these all gold and white shoes with Converse that have his logo on the tongue and a zipper over the laces, they were called ring knights cleats since he debuted them while receiving his NBA Finals ring. So this season, when Jalen Ramsey wanted to give his team some luck to win a ring in the NFL, he had his cleat designer create reverse ring nights that flip the colors around, turn them from shoes into cleats, and even got his jersey number on the back. They definitely look way crazier than this ugly, more traditional pair of Converse another player wore this season, or especially the taped Converse cleats I put in a previous cleats video which you'd only remember if you were subscribed, so, you know, subscribe. Anyways, of course Ramsey wore his better versions during a game where I saw the man annihilate someone. But those definitely aren't as crazy as these next player's cleats that ruined the proudest moment of his entire life. Cleats that look like a car, and so much more. But hold on. Before we get to that and more, there's a dark secret I just need to confess. See, I have not been making my best videos and I've been forced to make bad edits, which some of you have definitely been commenting about, due to the No Fun League, I mean NFL, claiming my videos and taking all my revenue even though the content's been transformed. So myself and my hardworking team, we're all damn near on the brink of homelessness from this. But you can save my channel. For literally almost the same price as a Taco Bell taco and half the price of a McDonald's Big Mac, just $2.99, you can become a real part of the Flix gang by becoming a FieldFlix channel member. And I know. You're probably thinking like, why the fuck would I even do that? Well, for the first time ever, I'll be dropping all my videos with the perfect edits. Never before seen NFL content that I'll never drop publicly, give you exclusive channel perks, and if enough of you become members, I'll even drop my heavily anticipated face reveal that literally thousands upon thousands of you have been begging me for. So please, if you love my channel and want way more than ever, you know what to do, because in return, I'll go harder than ever to make FieldFlix better and bigger than ever, all for you. Just become a channel member here today. But anyways, back to cleats, and one player's cleats this season ruined what should have been the proudest moment of his life. Jaden Blue came in this season as a rookie with high expectations, and he wasn't just working hard in practice to prepare for the biggest moment of his life, aka playing in his first NFL game during week 1. Jaden wanted to look good while doing it, and was seen practicing in some crazy looking cleats. They were Nikes that were designed to perfectly match his squad's colors, and were even painted with Louis Vuitton's logos and pattern. I mean, I loved them, but as dope as blue LV cleats look, reports eventually came out that his coach saw him laying on the side of the field after his designer cleats did something terrible to him. They gave Jaden terrible blisters. And if that wasn't bad enough, blisters combined with a minor ankle injury he was already dealing with ruined the proudest moment of his entire life, as it caused him to miss the first 4 games of his first season, and he wasn't even cleared to play until week 5. Damn, all that just for wanting to have a little swag? But another player's crazier cleats were turned into a collectible that only one person in the entire world can ever own. Travis Hunter came out for his debut in these white and black Adidas Exotic Speed cleats. They were a brand new design that had a snakeskin pattern with aglets designed like Snake Fang.
I'm a snake.
And all cause Travis wore them while going off in his very first game this year. A rookie card was made about his cleats that had a picture of him on his feet, was signed by him, and is one of only one in the world, which is exactly why the card costed $1,500. But something 10 times as expensive, literally over $10,000, were Puka Nakua's cleats and what they came in. Because before a game against the Lions, Pookie was seen walking in with this, a custom 101 case made just for him that has crocodile skin all around it. Took 4 months to create, costed $10,000, and held his Jordan 11 low PEs. And if you live under a rock or something, that means player exclusives, which were cleats designed for him that are never intended for public release. They're beige suede with a snakeskin pattern and weren't just something I'd rock if I wasn't ass at football.
I think I made him shit himself.
It seemed like the Jordan cleats gave Puka some extra powers when he wore them while absolutely dominating and racking up almost 200 yards. But they definitely aren't crazier than a player's cleats that got turned into a car. I never, ever thought cleats would look like a car, and I'm sure you didn't either till you seen our thumbnail, man. But Isaiah Rodgers is back, because this man broke my timeline when everyone was posting about him wearing Hot Wheels cars that were turned into giant slippers and somehow put on dudes' cleats. Now, I don't know if he thought car cleats would give him some extra speed or what, but they were so crazy that even the Hot Wheels official account was commenting on the NFL's post about him. And since I'd never seen any player do something like this, in my book, they were definitely some of the craziest cleats in NFL history. But speaking of wearing cars, another player's cleats actually became something he could drive. Christian Gonzalez wanted to do something iconic for the NFL's annual My Cause, My Cleats campaign. That's why he teamed up with Kyle Cares and Happiness Project, two foundations that spread awareness and help people struggling with any form of mental health issues. Then Christian got one cleat customized bluish green with the first foundation's logo, and the other was painted light purple with the second logo in rainbow.
We got Kyle Cares, one of my foundations I'm working with, mental health. It's okay to not be okay. Happiness Project, talking about mental health.
He wasn't just hyped when he got them. He also partnered with Toyota, who made this double-sided wrap on a truck to match the cleats, which he was seen driving around to spread mental health awareness even more. Now, you gotta respect him for those cleats. But last, and definitely not least, Jalen Hurts wore cleats this season that help sick kids dealing with deadly illnesses. It all started when Jalen learned about CHOP, the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, which sadly holds some of the sickest kids in the entire state. But even with them dealing with things most of us can't imagine going through, like cancer, 3 kids still got excited when they got a moment of a lifetime to design cleats.
So we can get everybody's favorite color. I like the front. Victory Shark. Are we okay with this?
The kids sketched out a pair of Air Jordan 1s in their 3 favorite colors with their names on the back, then not only named the cleats the Victory Sharks, Jalen surprised them with one more thing to lift their spirits.
In the meantime, while you guys are fighting, I'll be there staying positive. See you guys on the 28th.
I might watch you on the TV.
Oh, no. I'm talking about on the field. And I'm gonna wear the cleats. Does that sound cool to y'all?
Yes.
Once he promised them that, Jalen showed up to the game rocking the cleats they designed for him, and didn't just meet up with the kids where they got their own shoes to match the cleats. Jalen wore the cleats all game long to spread awareness for the hospital. Then his cleats went up for auction with bids already over $5,000, with all the money going to treatments for those kids. Man, you gotta respect him for that. But alright. Let's lighten the mood back up to other insane cleats of all different prices in order, that go from dollar cleats all the way up to $250,000 cleats and every price in between. Listen, I'm talking about cleats that came from a movie, cleats that won an award, cleats from a completely different universe, and so much more. But starting with the cheapest cleats any NFL player owns, Dookie and Nacho.
Who?
Exactly. He covered cheap cleats with tape just to make them look like popular shoes so he could finally go viral. Converse Chuck Taylors, Nike slides, even some Off-Whites. Once I saw him in some taped up house slippers, I thought his cleats can't get any crazier. Until he stepped out in some Gucci flip-flops. But as hard as he probably thought those were, tape is cheap as hell. So his $1 cleats are literally the cheapest in this video. There's cleats worth hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the cleats are only gonna get more expensive as we move on. So leveling up to Jamar Chase, his cleats were a gift from
LeBron James.
So today we got the unboxing of Fruity Pebble Brian cleats.
Alright, these cleats are kinda fruity, because they had Fruity Pebbles all over them and matched LeBron's fruity shoes. The package also came with a custom box of Jamar Pebbles, which I definitely slurp on. But even though Jamar wore his new cleats during practice and in games, his serial killers are some of the cheapest cleats in this video because they only cost $160. So leveling up, another player's cleats were more expensive because they came from a movie, Ghostbusters. Since the movie's characters not only use futuristic weapons that zap ghosts, and the ghost would always attack back with green slime, those things inspired NFL players to actually buy things from the movie. And Josh Jacobs got cleats customized cause of it. With Ghostbusters logos, a mini version of the main character's weapons, the cleats were even covered in slime, along with Josh's name all over them. So of course he busted them out to go viral. But even though they're worth $290, Cam Newton got cleats that are worth way more for winning an iconic award. After becoming the only MVP in Panthers history, the company Under Armour, who always had Cam in cleat commercials and already made him crazy cleats like these, eventually created him some new shiny gold cleats to honor his biggest achievement. And they didn't just say MVP or have his logo. The cleats had Cam's craziest stats all over them. So he eventually debuted them before the biggest game of his life while he was hyped getting ready for the Super Bowl. But I guess he wore different cleats during the game so he didn't ruin his craziest pair, which is probably why his team got smacked. Ass. Regardless, the golden cleats were still crazy, and eventually 50 limited pairs were signed and auctioned off for $500 each. But CeeDee Lamb's cleats didn't just cost over double that. They honored someone whose helicopter went up in the air and killed everybody. The tragedy of Kobe Bryant dying out of nowhere is something that affected athletes everywhere, but nobody seemed more affected by it than NFL star CeeDee Lamb. That's why he not only spent 12 hours getting a back tat of Kobe, CeeDee also took a pair of Kobe shoes, the Midnight Navy 6s, and had them turned into cleats. They matched CeeDee's team colors, so he actually got to wear them during a game to honor Kobe. And from a catch that led to a touchdown, then making even more crazy catches, all while wearing the custom cleats. That's one of the reasons shoe accounts kept posting them, because his custom Kobe's cost over $1,000. Man, you gotta respect CeeDee for that. But now, even though the cleats that Davante Adams wore were on a whole other level of expensive, nobody gave a shit. The cleats still got him clowned by the entire world. Right before a huge game, Davante got a special delivery from his boy.
What you think, man?
And it was the perfect gift to make a statement that he was the NFL's biggest hype beast. Custom Jordan 1 Dior cleats. Pop Smoke would be proud.
Christian Dior.
Anyways, the cleats definitely weren't gonna go unnoticed, especially during a playoff game, because Davante stepped on the field and was instantly making plays, all while his cleats were things fans couldn't take their eyes off of. Everyone could perfectly see his designers during a touchdown catch, and since Davante became the first NFL player to ever wear that brand in a game, the cleats literally became a bigger topic than his highlights. Unfortunately though, Davante and his squad still lost the game, so fans made things worse by absolutely clowning his cleats. Some claimed the cleats were fake, and a final fan let Davante know, now he'll be rocking those custom Dior cleats at home. Damn, but regardless of what Twitter degenerates said, Davante was chilling because no matter where he wore the cleats, they cost hella bread. $2,000, which is ridiculous until you realize another player's even more expensive cleats shine bright like a what?
Shine bright like a diamond.
Rihanna, shut your big ass forehead up. Shining bright like a diamond is an understatement. My boy Deebo Samuel is always shining because he actually wears diamonds. From earrings to watches, sometimes a chain. Even Deebo's feet were shining while he got hyped for a game. He was inspired by Nike Dunk lows that were shoes covered in over 1,000 crystals. So after seeing these, Deebo got him turned into custom cleats. After putting these on, not only did Deebo's cleats follow him into a game, they helped him make a bunch of plays while he was shining all over my goddamn screen. Seeing him in these had me not even wanting to call him by his name anymore. From now on, to me, he's Double D. Diamond Deebo, because his shiners cost him over $2,500. But honestly, his cleats are cheap compared to a couple illegal cleats that players wore. Alvin Kamara, Deshaun Jackson, and Marshawn Lynch became NFL criminals because they didn't just break the NFL's cleat rules. Their feet got them fined thousands of dollars each. The first of the situations didn't even matter that it would ruin a player's holiday, because it was Christmas Day when the Vikings matched up with the Saints. Alvin Kamara not only stepped onto the field wearing different colored cleats, his Christmas spirit completely took over the game by helping him score not one,
the gut, he is gone.
Not two,
Kamara, touchdown.
but 3 touchdowns in just the first half.
I never had 4 in a game.
And after saying that, man's made holiday history going off even more by not scoring just 4 or 5 touchdowns. He scored 6.
Now 6.
Which tied the record for most rushing touchdowns ever in a game, so of course he was out there doing some turf angels, man. Kamara was ho-ho-hoing the Vikings all game while his cleats stood out completely. But the NFL didn't care how good he played. Their cleat policy says that players' cleats must match team colors. And just taking a look at the Saints jerseys, all I'm seeing is white, black, and gold. That's why the the NFL, felt like Kamara's cleats were the opposite of what they were allowed to be, so they slapped Kamara with a $5,000 fine. But that's the cheapest of the 3 times cleats got players in trouble. This next pair was beyond controversial from Deshaun Jackson. His crazy cleat situation happened around the time news kept breaking about police officers killing innocent civilians. So Deshaun felt like custom cleats could help spread awareness and eventually spark change. That's why he got a pair painted all white with a light blue tiger pattern that were wrapped in caution tape. Now, of course he wasn't just gonna wear them during warm-ups and go hide them. Deshaun kept them on for the game where he was dominating and even trolling his opponents. But what was on his feet got to some people's heads. Not only did Deshaun's cleats make their way all over sports shows, all the attention they were getting, combined with the fact that they didn't match Deshaun's jersey, became a controversial topic that the NFL didn't want to continue being involved with. So to stop players from doing anything like this ever again, they fined Deshaun over $6,000. But as high of a fine as that was, Marshawn Lynch ain't even scared of police. You think he's scared of what the NFL could do to his cleats? Nah, that's why what he put on were so colorful, they took over the entire NFL. It's all cause Marshawn's always been obsessed with Skittles. He not only has a Skittles whip, pulls up to games in cars full of Skittles, and is on live TV doing tricks in his favorite candy. Once he got his own special edition flavor of the Marshawn pack, fans knew they were his favorite snack. That's why they started showing up to his games with Skittles signs and even showered him in Skittles whenever he scored. But all of that only inspired Marshawn to take Skittles a step further. He got custom cleats covered in Skittles, then put in Skittles lime-colored laces so everyone would look at his foot game. Man's even used the cleats to take over an actual game. And since everybody could see his cleats standing out, especially with cameras zooming in on them, the NFL eventually said, excuse me, sir. The league's not partnered with that brand, so your cleats are banned. Marshawn's cleats got him fined $10,000, but alright. Enough with the cheap-ass cleats, man. From this point on, we're only gonna talk about cleats that are worth tens of thousands of dollars, and we still have to get to cleats worth hundreds of thousands. But first, one player's cleats were so expensive, they look like they came from a jewelry store. Now, rocking jewelry ain't the only way Ray McCloud likes being flashy. He also loves wearing designer fits, especially his favorite brand, Louis Vuitton. That's why he took inspiration from these gold LV Air Force Ones that are honestly, oh my god, some of the sexiest shoes I've ever seen. God damn. My bad. So our boy got cleats customized just like him with a red tag and his initials on the side. Now, of course this man was flexing them right before the Super Bowl. Then in game, he was wearing them and cameras kept showing his cleats while he made catches and even during a punt mess up. But regardless of his mistake kinda costing his team the game, he still posted hella pics of his cleats again afterwards because they cost over $23,000. But as expensive as those were, they're nothing compared to players' cleats that came out of video games. Cleats that are from another universe, or the ridiculous $250,000 cleats that I promised earlier, man. And before we get to those, since you made it this far into the video, I'm hooking you up with a way to get in on the NFL action all season long. See, my boys at Game Time, who are also the sponsor of this video, hooked me up with tickets to go see an NFL game and show off the experience. So I hopped in a helicopter that flew over Wisconsin and showed up at Lambeau Field for a rivalry matchup. Walking in, I realized none of these fans knew it was coming, man. Then once things got going, I watched a couple touchdowns, including one from my boy who grittied on everybody. Hey, there we go, JJ Daddy. Honestly, this was my favorite football experience ever, all thanks to Game Time. And that's why you should join me next time by hopping on their app, because it's the best ticket securing experience you'll ever use. For any event, not just NFL, NBA, MLB, concerts, and more, Game Time shows the best prices available. One of my favorite features is this Game Time Picks section, because it shows the most highly anticipated events of your area, and when you click on one, boom, you can customize the spot and how many tickets you get. There's even a super deal tab that gives you an absolute top tier valued seat, like how for me it says this is a top 1% deal. And before making any purchases, you get to see the exact view you'd get from any seat in the entire arena. That's dope, man. It never matters if you're trying to buy tickets early, last minute, or late. The app allows you to handle everything stress-free with no hidden fees. And if honestly that's not enough, man, they're even letting me hook you up with a crazy deal for your first event. All you gotta do is download the Game Time app, create an account, then use my code FieldFlix, and I'm guaranteeing tickets to your first event are an extra $20 off. Terms apply. Listen, man, I just want you to experience a live event like never before, so you gotta try out the Game Time app at least this one time. And if you see something you want to show up to, use this code right here, FIELDFLIX, for a free $20 off. Then let me know in the comments what game you're going to, and who knows, man, I might just pull up right next to you. But anyways, back to all the craziest and most expensive cleats that NFL players own, starting with $30,000 cleats that came out of video games. I already thought that Patrick Surtain II's cleats looked dope because they were based on his initials, PS2. Of course, they were also gaming console themed with PS2 logos all over. And not only did he wear them on his feet when he dominated a game, even his squad's Reddit page was glazing them. But other NFL players were gifted even crazier video game cleats for having the highest Madden ratings of all time. Like when Rob Gronkowski, Luke Kuechly, and Antonio Brown all got custom 99 cleats for being 99 overalls. The cleats were white with a bit of gold, featured pictures of them, and even said their names. But when the next Maddens came out, players got some other options. Khalil Mack got a custom box for his white and gold cleats. Bobby Wagner got some shiny Jordans, so of course dude was hyped when he got them.
99? Look at the cleats. Look at this cleats.
But Justin Jefferson got a whole ass Madden package that came with a custom PS5, controller, a gold-plated trading card, and obviously some all-gold Under Armour cleats with his initials, 99 overall stamp, and even some crystals. These cleats had it all. But Jefferson wanted to wear them to ball, especially during practice where he was acting like a fool.
You already know what I got on my feet. The 99s.
And he even put that on for the first game of the season where he went off for 150 yards. Video game cleats literally had this dude putting up video game numbers. But other video game cleats get pretty emotional, because what Christian McCaffrey wore was only to help one of his biggest fans' dreams come true. Logan Hale, a young kid who didn't just love McCaffrey, also loved playing video games. Until at just 12 years old, he was sadly diagnosed with cancer and forced to stay in the hospital for months. Now, at least he got a gaming system in the hospital to help pass the time. And honestly, it helped Logan through his situation so much that he and his family started the Logan Project, which raised money to put gaming systems in hospitals for other sick kids. Once McCaffrey eventually heard Logan was doing a lot to help others and was also a huge fan, McCaffrey visited Logan in the hospital, then eventually sent him a video encouraging him to stay strong. But just minutes after Logan watched the video, he passed away. Once McCaffrey heard that, he just had to honor his boy. So we got a pair of cleats designed with a digital gaming theme, Logan's name, and the Logan Project logo on the front. Then McCaffrey not only wore them during a game where he ran for almost 100 yards, scored a touchdown, and carried his team to the win. He signed the cleats before they went to auction, where all money raised was gonna fund the Logan Project. And that's when the cleats eventually sold for over $33,000. Damn, shout out to McCaffrey, man. But alright, let's lighten the mood back up. Because George Kittle's cleats weren't only on another level of expensive, they came from the second greatest basketball player of all time. Yeah, talking about that bald dude from Chicago who's not on LeBron's level, man. Anyways, look, George Kittle has always been a cleaterhead. That's why man's not only always rocking exclusive cleats, he even clowns other people for what they wear.
So you guys are out there at every practice. You guys watch us all the time, but you guys really need to up your sneaker game. It's absolutely atrocious. I got some Vomeros, those are fire. And Grant wears Vans every single day. New Balances, they look like Vans. Yeah, those are Vans. It's okay, but you wear those every day, so I need you to switch those up. But I observe all your guys' shoes, and I am disappointed in you guys as a community. It's year 8, guys. Let's figure this out together.
And the only reason Kittle can get away with doing things like that is because he's always got heat on his feet, especially when he took an already legendary shoe, the Jordan 1 OG Chicago's, and got him turned into custom cleats with red, black, and white crystals everywhere. But these weren't just for show. Kittle wore them while making catch after catch during one of his best games of the season. Hold on. Every time a player wears their expensive cleats, they go off. I think I'm seeing a trend of what players should do, man. Anyways, Kittle's sparklers were special, and that's why the person who designed them didn't just post pics of him wearing his creation because they were one of one. It's because the cleats were inspired by shoes that cost... hey, is this a typo? Oh, it's not? Yeah, I'm still recording. I'll say it now. Over $40,000. But just when you think things can't possibly get more expensive, two of the most legendary quarterbacks in NFL history have all the players in this video so far beat. What's on their feet only became the opposite of cheap because they accomplished things only GOATs do. Johnny Unitas led the Colts to winning not 1, not 2, but 3 championships. So once he retired and got into the Hall of Fame, the cleats he wore during his final season became legendary. Johnny wore black high tops all the time, like while meeting fans, taking team pics, and even during games. So even though his BBC, big black cleats, weren't something I'd pay money to have, $71,000 is what they eventually sold for. But Tom Brady's most expensive cleats cost even more, because when his squad matched up with the Chargers during the 2006 playoffs, everyone expected Brady to get smacked, which is exactly what started to happen as he went down 14-3. But eventually Brady was losing by just a touchdown with only a couple minutes left. And that's when he drove his team all the way down the field and made a few crazy plays to tie the game. Then he completed one of the best throws in his career to eventually set up a field goal that won the game. Now, Brady might actually be Jesus for pulling off something that insane, but clutching that wasn't even the biggest topic of the game. The white and blue Nike Zoom cleats he had on during the comeback completely stole the show, because they became the only cleats he ever wore during the playoffs that were signed and authenticated. So when they went up for auction, the winning bidder took them home for over $88,000. $88K? Alright, I can't even lie, that's definitely a lot. But now that we're getting into the six-figure range, it's time we talk about a player's cleats that came from a different universe. NFTs were taking over, and everyone wanted a piece of the metaverse. So Andrew Sandeo not only copped one of the rarest NFTs, a Bored Ape with an army hat and Hawaiian shirt, he got cleats customized with his ape and its official number on the side. Now, that kind of reminds me of what NBA star Tyrese Halliburton did first with his own ape and combined it with bubblegum pink on some shoes. But wearing them on a court is one thing. I was actually pretty surprised Andrew wore his cleats while making tackles and helping his squad upset one of the best teams in the league. And seeing as that was the only time an NFT met the NFL, that's why his cleats combined with the ape were worth $165,000. Until NFT prices completely tanked, the picks became worthless, and people like Andrew realized they were a dumbass for spending so much cash. Now, at least Odell Beckham's foot game is forever, because his cleats weren't just the most expensive cleats that any NFL player owns, they set a world record. And I know, we gotta talk about a Super Bowl again. Seems like on the biggest stage players are always showing off, but Odell was planning to do that ahead of time. He had his shoe designer spend over 100 hours making cleats that didn't just have his team's colors over python skin. They had Odell's logo on the tongue, yellow gold, and a Nike swoosh made of over 1,500 diamonds. Now, alright, I never thought something this crafted would end up on a football field, but we're talking about the Odell, man. He's already been on a field in some of the most expensive and rarest shoes ever, Nike Air Mags. So, obviously on the day of the Super Bowl, Odell was pre-gaming and making one-handed catches in his new masterpieces. Even though they're the most expensive cleats in not just the NFL, but sports history, that cost over $250,000. But, alright. Even cleats that set a world record were nothing like cleats that got banned. And there's a ton of those, like illegal cleats from a rapper, designer cleats that didn't just get kicked out the league, but also got a player clowned by the entire world, and cleats that I couldn't even believe the NFL didn't like that honored a legend that died. But before we see those, the NFL ruined Marshawn Lynch wearing cleats that damn near belong in a jewelry store. Coming into the biggest game of his career, the NFC Championship, Marshawn spent a bag on some custom cleats from his friend and famous shoe designer, Soles by Sir. And right when he posted Marshawn's masterpieces on Instagram, of course they went viral. The cleats were covered in 24 karat gold, had lime laces, and cost over $1,000. So Marshawn couldn't wait to debut these, and before he knew it, it was game day. But as soon as Marshawn stepped on the field for warm-ups and the gold cleats were on his feet, the NFL called him in and broke some horrible news.
Never a dull moment with Marshawn Lynch. The Seahawks have been dealing with drama, and it all centers around these gold cleats that Marshawn Lynch had planned to wear in this game. The NFL found out and threatened if Marshawn Lynch wears those cleats, he'll be ejected from the NFC Championship game.
So Marshawn was devastated. He switched cleats, went to work, and helped his team win regardless. But why did the NFL care so much about Marshawn's cleats? Well, it's all because of their rule that says players must wear cleats that are black, white, or a team color. And with the Seahawks being navy, green, and gray, Marshawn's gold cleats were banned. Man, the NFL really ruined a game all because of cleats? Well, that ain't as crazy as what the league did to Tom Brady, Odell Beckham, or Devontae Adams cleats. But what about the time the NFL banned cleats because of a rapper? Kanye West kept it a secret, but while his shoes were becoming a worldwide phenomenon, he'd also been designing something exclusive for the NFL. And no NFL player loved Yeezys more than DeAndre Hopkins. It's exactly why he signed a deal with Adidas, and his favorite shoes ever were what Kanye was creating. And since Kanye knew this, he shipped him something special. Hopkins let the world know Kanye sent him some of the first ever Yeezy cleats, and it wasn't gonna be long before he laced them up. Hopkins walked into his very next game rocking the Yeezys. and throughout the game. Not only did he pull in crazy risks, taking a look at the Yeezys, yeah, they're white and black, but the NFL's excuse was that all cleats needed to mainly be one color. So cause it was both colors, they fined Hopkins $6,000. Now, a reporter did ask Hopkins if he'd keep wearing them, but Hopkins told him only if Kanye wants to pay the fine. And well, Kanye must be cheap cause they never came out to play again, and the Yeezys were banned. But what Odell Beckham wore cost him the most expensive cleat fine in NFL history. It's how he dressed. Odell was inspired by what he put on from the legendary Craig Sager, who was in the NBA making waves because of what he wore. Ridiculous designs, colors most people would be afraid to rock. Craig's confidence had most athletes admiring him, even though some hated on him.
Tonight, I am stressing to you, you take this outfit home and you burn it.
But unlike KG, Odell loved Craig until out of nowhere, he got some horrible news.
Here at Turner Sports, our hearts are still absolutely breaking as we lost our buddy today. Craig Sager has died at the age of 65.
When Odell heard that Craig passed away, he was heartbroken. But as sad as Odell was, he decided to honor Craig with some custom cleats. Odell hit up his boy with the perfect concept that would not only make him go down in history, they guaranteed Craig would never be forgotten, even if it meant breaking the rules. And when Odell showed up to his very next game, he shocked the world. Catch after catch, Odell couldn't be stopped. But one play meant more than everything. Odell made sure he had the game of his life for Craig. Odell was great while wearing some of the craziest cleats of all time. Every single color, and had Craig's name all over them. These cleats were the perfect representation of one of the most important people in Odell's life. But the NFL didn't care about any meaning behind the cleats, all because they didn't match Odell's team colors. He eventually posted on his friend's Instagram saying, "I got fined $18,000 for the Craig Sager cleats. No warning to take them off or anything." So it was official. Odell's cleats were banned. Nobody was laughing at that ban. But the cleats that Davante Adams wore weren't only against the rules. They got him clowned by the entire world. Davante was hyped when he stepped into a matchup against one of the greatest of all time with a trip to a Super Bowl on the line. So he wasn't afraid to go viral, even if it meant risking a fine. Right before kickoff, Davante got a special delivery from his boy, a gift that was the perfect way to make a statement that he was the NFL's biggest hype beast. Custom Jordan 1 Dior cleats that were worth over $2,000. Davante hadn't even laced them up yet, and everybody was talking about him on Twitter. So once he stepped on the field, the world couldn't take their eyes off his feet. Davante became the first NFL player ever to wear that brand in a game, so the cleats became a bigger headline than his highlights. But once the NFL saw Dior, they said no more. NFL rules state that only logos or brand names from the league's official partners can be worn. Players can wear other brands as long as they remove or cover the name or logo. So since Dior is not an official brand of the league, Davante should have been fine. But after playing in one of his worst games all season and things ending in a heartbreaking loss, the NFL felt Davante was punished enough when fans clowned him for trying to stand out. They said things like, probably why he played like ass, and maybe he needs to change back to his old pair. Some claimed they were bad luck and that the cleats were fake. But one final fan rubbed in the L the hardest and let Davante know, now he'll be rocking those custom Dior cleats at home watching the Super Bowl. Regardless though, nobody ever wore Dior cleats again, because they were banned. But what the NFL did to Tom Brady's cleats became one of the weirdest mysteries in NFL history. There's always been one brand that Brady's loved wearing, and it's what helped him become a legend. On the field, off the field, for 11 years straight, Brady couldn't be seen anywhere without wearing Under Armour. Brady and Under Armour could never be separated, or at least that's what they thought, cause randomly, Brady's cleats disappeared. Right before opening day, Brady found out that Under Armour and the NFL couldn't reach an agreement, and Under Armour decided to part ways with the league. This meant that the brand was no longer able to show commercials during games, wasn't allowed in Madden, and the worst of it all, Under Armour wasn't allowed to be worn during games, even though Brady was signed to them. So he was devastated, but after studying the NFL's rulebook and learning every detail about their cleat policy, Brady found a loophole and walked into the new season wearing cleats unlike any player in NFL history. Some plain Jane all-white cleats looking like something a dad would cut grass in? For the first time since 2010, Brady played a game in something other than Under Armour, so of course these made headlines. But all along, his cleats weren't what people thought. It turned out that Brady hit up designers at Under Armour to create custom cleats that would slip under the NFL's radar. The entire time, Brady was still wearing his favorite cleats, but they were Under Armour, just without the Under Armour logo. So the NFL couldn't hit Brady with a punishment, even though Under Armour cleats were banned.